Lara is joining us live from Abuja. Lara, at what stage have talks gotten to now in this EcoMark quality?
The EcoMark is a symbol of quality that is expected to be put on products produced in the West African sub-region. And one of the committees that has been put in place to allow for the smooth sail of this process is the Conformity Assessment Committee, which has begun talks in Abuja, and the talks are expected to end on the 21st, after which we will come up with a resolution on how to ensure the success of this particular process. This EcoMark initiative is a fallout of the West Africa Quality System project, which is funded by the EU and implemented by the United Nations Industrial Organization. Of course, it is not news that quite a number of our products have been rejected by the international community because they do not meet certain international standards. We've had cases of beans being rejected from the EU because it contained too much chemicals. And so the EU is working with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization to put in a quality infrastructure mechanism for countries in the West African sub-region like Nigeria, so that our products will be able to compete favorably in the international market, and will have a favorable balance of trade where the importation of finished goods into the country is concerned. We've seen cases where we have more finished goods coming into Nigeria than Nigeria has going out to the international community. The economic partnership agreement, for example, is one agreement Nigeria has not signed with the EU because it feels that signing that agreement will kill our local industries here. So the EU is trying to help countries like Nigeria develop their standards to align with global best practices, so it will be able to compete favorably in the international market.
All right, Lara, let's look at this now in relation to the Africa Free Trade, which Nigeria at the moment is yet to sign. What implications could this have on the free trade agreement among African countries?
Of course, the Africa Free Continental Trade Agreement is one that Nigeria has yet to sign, but 22 countries have signed that agreement on the continent, which means that it has reached the required threshold for implementation. The Nigerian government has put in a consultation mechanism to look at the different scenarios involved and to ensure that if the country eventually signs this agreement, the terms will be favorable to the Nigerian economy. But looking at this particular conformity assessment initiative, which is the EcoMark, and how it relates to the African Free Continental Trade Area Agreement, the EcoMark is supposed to help the West African sub-region better integrate and harmonize standards. Of course, we know one of the challenges that has affected the integration of the West African sub-region is the fact that the countries are not at the same level of development. But the impression of stakeholders as regards this process is that when you have standards in the West African sub-region being harmonized, for example, as we are seeing the EU trying to do through this quality infrastructure project, it means that the countries could begin to move towards being at the same level of development, and we can begin to see an ECOWAS of people and not an ECOWAS of nations.
Afolayan, many thanks for speaking to us on TVC News at 10.